Hey everybody, I'm Dave from AskUncleDave.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about a whole bunch of different subjects in regards to downloading copyrighted material from the internet onto your computer and watch your cable cutting methods of watching TV and movies and things like that. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things: ISPs, I have illustrations, and I have examples of DMCA strikes. That's when your ISP tells you, cut it out, stop downloading stuff. I'm going to show you how to get around with it. All these different software, all these different VPNs and Seedboxes and things like that. So, without delay, let's go and talk about what we need to do. So, on these sites here, this is Torrent Day, and then we have torrenting, and then we have IP torrents, and those are private tracker sites. This means that you have to be invited, and you have to use a username and password, and you have to keep up your ratio, meaning you have to share back whatever you downloaded in equal amount. So you keep a ratio of 1. Then you have these sites here, like Movie Land, TV Land, and these are sites that you can download actual MP4s. But you have to be a member also. You sign up for it. The owner of the site puts these movies on. They don't allow other people to put movies on. And you stay safer in a way because you're not downloading from a public tracker or public sites like the Pirate Bay or other sites that allow you to download things without being a member, without having to sign in. I recommend having sites and using sites that you sign in for. Now, let me explain to you how it works. So you have your ISP. This is your internet service provider. And they give you, excuse me, they give you a connection to the internet. They hold your internal IP address, meaning they know where you live. They know your name, your social security number. They know all that stuff about you because you signed up and your billing and everything like that. Now, when you surf the web, you have an external IP that broadcasts to all these websites. So they know kind of who you are. And they definitely know generally in the area that you live and what ISP you're using. So if they report you to your ISP with the external IP, they put it two and two together and they say, oh, this external belongs to this internal. So this is who it is. And this is the guy or the girl that is downloading all this copyrighted material. So you go on your browser, you visit sites like open trackers like Pirate Bay, and you download stuff that anybody can upload, and anybody can put spyware in so that you get caught. And then they see your external IP and they report you to your ISP company. You also have the private ones that I just showed you, and those are better because it's hard for them to throw spyware, these snoopers, to throw spyware onto those sites. So I definitely recommend sites that you sign in for and that you're restricted in uploading stuff unless you're a super user or something like that. So you visit these two sites and you download a torrent file, which tells all the members, this guy is downloading this file. He needs this part, this part, and that part. Give it to him. And then you get it. That's called leeching. You leech these files all together using a torrent downloader. And then what you have to do is you have to seed back. So you leave it running on your computer, on your local computer in your home, and you share it with other people who are interested or members, or even non-members if you're using Pirate Bay. And then you take these files, you unrar them, they become, from file, they become a movie. Then you watch your movies, your videos, your TV shows, your music, and you're happy. You sit in front of your computer, your TV, and you're watching all these shows. Now, here's the next scenario. The companies that make these movies and TV shows, they want to get paid. They want you to buy these DVDs. They want you to subscribe to, cable. And they send out detectives. And now these detectives, they go around and they come over to these sites here and they upload videos. and they also upload spyware. Now, it's easy to do on Pirate Bay because anybody can upload to them. But it's a little harder to do it on the private tracker sites. But sometimes they get through. Now, that runs into problems because now these sites, you'll download the file, you'll open them up. Even if you open them up to watch them, after you unRAR'd them and downloaded them, they still have this software that can check your external IP. And then they report it to your cable company and you get a strike. I have an example of a strike I'm going to show you in a second. So he throws spyware in there, okay? And then you download it like an idiot, and then they get your external, and they send you a notice. Here's your notice. Now you have a strike against you. You have 3 strikes. They cut your cable, your internet service right off. And you can't sign in again without watching videos and going to classes, and you might even get in trouble. Now this detective, if they want, they can go to a judge, and the judge can ask them, he says to the judge, hey, I have his external IP, I want his internal. Tell the internet service provider to give it to me. And they might do it. And they might make an example of you and fine you, throw you in jail, do terrible things to you because they want to use you as an example. But that's terrible. You don't want that. But most of the time they leave you alone, especially if you're on a private tracker. It's hard for them to figure out who you are with your external, so they kind of leave you alone. Now, there's an alternative way to keep yourself safe. So you have your internal IP safeguarded by your ISP, and your detective comes over, and now he wants to see, he puts his little spyware in here, and what happens is the external IP that he gets is a fake IP because you're using a VPN, and a VPN allows you to connect to your computer in your house. It's your IP address. You could do whatever you want. You can use Plex, you can DLNA, you could do all that stuff. But once it hits the web, it goes through a tunnel, and this tunnel goes to a computer that's located in another country, or even your own country but a different state, and it reports a fake IP or an IP for that company. But you also have to worry whether that VPN company keeps your logs. Logs is all the activity that you did, and our little snooper detective can go to the judge, and the judge can request the logs from your VPN and say, hey, who's this guy? Who's this person downloading? Oh, this is where he lives. This is his external IP. Okay. Then they get a subpoena to go to the cable companies and say, here's the external. We got it from the VPN, and we want to know where this guy lives. We want to find him. We want to just tell him to stop, or we want to find him, or we want to throw him in jail. And now you're not a happy person. You're sitting there with your little email. By the way, I'm going to show you that email. Now, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you a Seedbox service and a VPN that they give you for free. Not affiliated with them. I just want to show you as an example of what happens when you do that. So here is my strike. I got this one a couple of years ago. My cable company told me, hey, we will suspend or terminate your accounts for repeating copyright infringement. They say that the snooper detective reported your external IP address. We didn't tell them who you were, but we told them that we would tell you to stop doing it. So if you keep doing it, we're going to cut you off. All right? If they want to, they can request that you give that the cable company give them your internal IP, and then you're screwed. But most likely they don't make examples of many people. Most of the time they go after the big fish, but sometimes they can go after you. Now, it says here, please note, do not contact the sender, because down at the bottom of the email, it has an infringement username and blah, blah, blah down there. It tells you what movie that they try to download. At this time, I was watching Noah's Ark on XBMC on an Apple TV, and I didn't have a VPN, and they had Snooper software in there, and they reported me. So they give you all this information. They tell you what happens. They tell you, do not reply to the email or else the persons who are trying to find out what your internal IP will get your IP address. So if you get one of these strikes, these letters, just save it, file it away, don't respond, don't even reply to Charter, don't do anything, just leave it alone and prevent it by using a VPN service or something. So here we have cheapseedbox.com. This is just an example. You can use whatever one you want. And they offer you OpenVPN configuration files so that you can run a VPN on your computer, on your Mac, on your iPhone, on your tablet, your Windows computer, Linux, all that stuff. So basically for $10 a month, I did the $10 a month one. They give you 300 gigabytes of storage on a server that's not in your home. It's somewhere else, in a different country or wherever. They also give you the VPN service so that you can mask your IP, and it goes and snoopers think that you're in Russia or something, you know? Then you also have the ability, instead of using like uTorrent program on your computer, in your computer, you use rTorrent, which is a web-based torrent downloader that you grab all the torrent files, and you completely keep your computer out of the loop. They also are very friendly. Seedboxes are very friendly to torrent sites. As a matter of fact, you raise your ratio big time when you use a Seedbox. You're going to use a VPN, FTP service. That is a way to connect from your computer software of FTP and go out onto that server that's in another country and pull the RARs right onto your computer. But you do it anonymously by using a VPN. You could use this with Cody, Popcorn Time, all that stuff. Once you connect to your VPN and it's running, nobody knows your internal or your external IP address. So once you sign up for this, you get a couple of emails. And these emails look like this. And I changed a couple of things to keep my privacy. But basically, when you first sign up for the $10 a month, you get an email that looks like this, and it says, welcome. Then you get a second email once they're all figured out, and they basically give you all the ports and all the links to different things. Now, rTorrent is the web-based torrent downloader. You have a download directory so that you could see all the files that you downloaded in a particular folder over the web, over a browser. This is all over the browser. You can FTP, meaning now you can use an FTP software like this one. And what you can do is, this is your computer at home, and then you click here, and we're going to put port 22 because that is a security port. It's not FTP, it's SFTP, and you connect to it. And what happens is you're going to connect to your server that's located somewhere else, that you downloaded these RAR files, and you go into the folder that you downloaded stuff. I have it in here, and then I have all of my torrents that I got from these torrent sites, these private torrent sites. So basically you could just drag and drop onto your computer desktop, but you don't want to do that unless you're using this FTP client. But you want to first connect to your VPN. I hope this is not confusing. So what they do is they give you an OpenVPN configuration, and it's just a file that tells a VPN who you are, you know, what a VPN you're going to be using. They have a general username and password. That it's a public VPN. It's not a private VPN. You pay more money for that. They give you a free one, so it's public, and basically you connect it. So now I'm going to connect to it. I'm going to show you. So you pretty much have different software that you need to download. Now we have one for, this is talking about VPNs and FTP clients. So your FTP client, your OpenVPN client for Mac is TunnelBrick. That's a software that you run. You throw that configuration file that you download from your Seedbox, and you throw it into TunnelBrick, and it will configure a VPN for you. And I'm going to explain a little bit more in a second. Now, this is for OpenVPN for Windows. This one is for iOS, iPads, and iPhones. This one is for Android, and they have Android software for OpenVPN. And then they also have Linux. And this is FireZilla. This is the FTP client. And the FTP client, you download it, and then you open it here. And you can use CyberDuck, but you can use FileZilla because it's very fast. So basically, you go into FireZilla, and now you put in all your information, your username and password, which they give you right up here. And you put your port as 22 because you want security, or you can do it as 21. And you throw in this link right here, the FTP link, into FileZilla. And now it will connect to your server, your Seedbox server. And by the way, the Seedbox server is always running, so you're seeding to your other members of your torrent websites, and they're feeding back to the community, so your ratio goes up, and it goes up fast. And also you get super speed with Seedboxes. So you download something, it downloads very quickly. You use the FileZilla, and you go from that server, from that Seedbox, right to your computer. At the whole time you're running your tunnel, your VPN. So I just turned it on now, and you basically click and you hit connect. So you connect it, and it starts to connect, and boom, it's connected right now. Boom, it's connected. So now you're completely anonymous. Your external IP is masked. It's somewhere in Russia or Ukraine or China or wherever it is that these servers run. So now you can just basically press here and download, and it will download your file, one raw part at a time, and then you'll see it on your desktop being downloaded. You'll see it in a couple of minutes. You'll see a file, a folder here, and then basically you open it up and you unrar it. So like I said before, even when you're watching the movie, after it's unrarred and it's a video file, these softwares that are on these RARs can report your IP. So keep your VPN on all the time. Or take your file and put it on an iOS device, and you won't get reported because it works on the Mac. They knew you were running a Mac or something. Or have the VPN. Now you can set up the VPN on your iOS or your Android device by using OpenVPN, APK, or IPA software, and you could just email yourself that configuration file that you got when you signed up. I'm sorry, not that. You can use the configuration that you got when you signed up. This OpenVPN config. You click that, and you go to the page, and it's going to drop it right into your downloads folder. Now it looks like this. You get a folder, and it says Client OVPN. You take that, you email it to yourself on your iOS or Android device, and you have the OpenVPN software loaded, the app on your phone. You click on that, you open in or open with an Android, and it will put all the information in, and you're running the same VPN that you're running on your Mac currently, or your Windows, or your Linux. So now I'm going to show you in fast motion how everything is done. So basically, we connect it to our VPN client with the configuration file, and we have it running. We go to our private tracker site. You find the movie or show you want to watch. You click it. It downloads right to your downloads folder. I have it here. So then you go into RTorrent, and RTorrent is your web-based torrent downloader. So we go and we hit the plus sign here. We hit choose file. We go into our downloads folder, and we click that RAR file. That torrent file. So you click it and you hit add file. What's going to happen? It's going to add it to the web-based torrent downloader, and it's been added, and now it's running. So we close that out, and we're going to see that show vinyl that I was looking at is already at 42%. It's super, super fast. Boom, boom, boom. And once it's done, you go here, you pre-configure your client, and you hit connect. Once you connect, you're going to look and see in your downloads folder, manual, and you're going to see vinyl in here. All right. So since you're connected to the VPN, you're masked. you open up the the FileZilla, and now you can download. All you do is hit right mouse button and download, or drag and drop into your folder on your Mac. So after that's all downloaded, you're going to see it all being downloaded. You can open up that file and click it, unrar it, make it into a movie, and start watching. So basically, that's how it all works. And once you're all set up, you have your sign in. You go to this site here, and you can pay your bill and do all that stuff. And then you have your, your site. So I definitely recommend using a Seedbox, which is this. They give you an open VPN, or you can get your own private open VM with username and password, and you can configure everything, including like an Apple TV, or even your router for that matter. So you always have VPN running. I did a lot of videos in the past about, watching things from Popcorn Time and Kodi and all that stuff. And I wouldn't do it anymore without having a VPN running and having that particular app or web page connected to while the VPN is connected. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer you. I hope I didn't confuse you. I try to illustrate things just to show you what it's all about. But like I said, I'm open to questions and I answer quickly. If you know me, please subscribe. Please like the page if I help you. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.